Hey guys, welcome to Brains, Brawn, and BS, where we try to improve the lives of our listeners by connecting the dots between physical and financial wellness while discussing the shit that actually matters in life. Hey guys, this is Luke. I'm going to be your PT for the day. Welcome to the show. I'm joined by my co-host Scott. He's going to be your business leader for today. And I think we're going to start off here with body composition, guys. So body composition is one of the 5 components of fitness that we've been hitting on. And it's actually super crucial. It's more important than measuring your weight on the scale. It's more important than BMI, which I don't recommend you use at all as a measurement or a benchmark. And there's a ton of great resources out there if you're kind of interested in learning more about this. But if you're really trying to... Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, why are we not going to be using, why would we not want to use BMI, I guess my question, because that's just what I've heard all my life.
Yeah.
BMI.
Yeah, so BMI is kind of the oldest, or one of the older forms of kind of a quick ratio that you would use to measure your fitness, right? But it's really, it's not something...
Or tell you if you're overweight or fat, like me.
Yeah, so just a fitness check, right? But it's not recommended, and I don't recommend it anyway, because your BMI only takes 2 things into account. That's your height and your weight, but that's not taking your muscle and fat mass into account, which has nothing to do with your height and weight. So it's just not really measuring anything significant, right? Whereas if go ahead.
So it's like if I'm like I got a lot of muscle, then that could. It shows up as extra weight, so my BMI is going to be higher.
Yeah.
And of course, if a BMI is above 25, you're overweight.
Yeah, and it's just kind of an arbitrary scale that doesn't mean anything, because again, you could be a shorter guy with a lot of muscle, and you could be in great shape. But when you look at that BMI scale, you calculate the numbers, and you look at the output, it's going to say that you're obese or you're overweight or you're underweight or whatever. And it's being phased out of the fitness realm for the most part, so it shouldn't be around too much longer anyway.
Okay, so like Arnold Schwarzenegger, this fucker's like ripped, right, or was ripped. So back in the day, that means that he would technically be classified as overweight.
Potentially, yes, definitely, depending on his height and weight and where he ends up on that scale. But what I really want to do for our listeners here is kind of explain what body composition is, because we kind of skipped over that. And it's pretty simple, guys. It might sound a little bit more complicated than it is, but it's essentially the proportion of fat and fat-free mass in your body. So someone with a healthy body fat percentage, it's going to be on the lower end of the scale, and that is kind of the best indicator you have, right? It's separated into 2 categories, male and female, and there's several different testing methods. But essentially, it's just your muscle to fat ratio is kind of the best, most simple way of explaining that. And you can get that tested at a health club, a fitness center, a gym. I would say just make sure you do your research on the testing method that you're going for, and the person that is doing that test is trained and they're a professional, because some tests are more accurate than other tests.
What are we looking for when it comes to the number, like the measure? What's a good number, I guess, for the...
Sure. So for men, I would recommend anything between 6% body fat to 20% body fat, I think, is a good range. 6 being on the much lower side, much leaner, but all the way up to 20. And that's just my opinion. You can go ahead and just Google body fat percent norms for men and women. You can see a kind of robust data set that's going to give you kind of put you in a placement, show you where you're at and what category you're in. Because everyone has a certain amount of essential fat on their body that is necessary. So you can't have 0, right? But you don't want to be at 30 either, because then you're not sitting pretty and you're subject to a lot of health risks. So at the end of the day, lower body fat percentage in general is good. Higher body fat percentage in general is bad. And that's about just as simple as we can keep that, I would say.
Okay, gotcha. So, why do we have fat to begin with? I mean,
that's a good question.
Like, what's its deal?
So everyone needs to have a certain level of body fat. It is a biological requirement for humans. Actually, most mammals, I would say, probably all mammals. And that's because you need a certain amount of fat to stay healthy, to keep your systems running, to operate for a minimal amount for storage, at least, right? The problem with that's not really the issue, though. Most people don't most people don't have too little body fat for the most part. There are extreme cases. The huge problem is the excess body fat that most people, Americans especially, are kind of carrying around with them. And that's typically what you're going to see if you go look around, and that's kind of what most of us are fighting there.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's obviously some things that we need fat for, but
yeah,
okay.
a minimal
No,
amount, 100%.
Okay, cool.
I think you had something to relate to this whole body composition and body fat percentage measuring concept, right, Scott?
Yeah, no, so when I think about how body mass works, or body makeup, you of course have, like you were saying, the muscle groups and then the fat. So I relate that mostly to the relationships that we have in our life. Obviously, this is a big takeaway for you guys. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you spend the most time with criminals, you're going to end up being a criminal. If you spend the most time with investors, you're going to be an investor, so on and so forth. So essentially, I relate that to the makeup of your social interactions on a daily basis and who you talk to and relate to the most. Obviously, if you want to improve in life, you want to grow a business, right? You're going to want to hang around more people that are focused on business because they're going to rub off on you. Now, a lot of people, I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure you are hanging out with people who may not be the best influences on you. Maybe it's not they're a good influence so much as they might be neg bombs. They may just be completely negative. I had a person I used to hang out with who every idea I threw at him about investing and doing this and that, he would just basically rip me a new one and say, this is why that's not going to work. Never gave me any ideas on why it was going to work. And he would cover himself by saying, oh, but I just want to make sure you see the bad side of it so that, you are able to handle the good side. I'm like, fuck you, man. You get to a point where you just know that they're just screwing with you. Other influences could be like family, because when you say, oh, I'm going to go start a business or I'm going to start investing, people think of stocks and bonds and mutual funds, as the only forms of investment, which is complete garbage. But they also think, wow, that's really risky. You need to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Make sure that, you have a steady income. So, of course, some of my family would say, no, you don't need to do all that. Go get a job because you can go to work, you can have a 401k, you can have all these fucking benefits that are going to make you feel all fluffy inside and work for the rest of your life and retire rich or retire with no money. That's basically what they're saying in essence.
That's the status quo.
It is the status quo that I see. I mean, these people are like walking through life in a fucking haze. If you want to see zombies that really exist, all you have to do is ride the the train over in New York, the subway train. People are standing there like, whoa. It's fucking weird. But yeah, so basically, and I compare the people that are negative in your life or the people who are not going where you want to go as the fat in your life. Now, I'm not trying to say that they're, you just need to get rid of them, because we learn a lot from these people, okay? We learn a lot about what not to do. Like, I have someone in my life right now. He's taken the oath of poverty. I actually talked to him, it was about a while ago, about a year ago. And he was telling me, I know this car is the best I'm ever going to have. I know that, this job, it's just going to pay me just enough. I'll be able to take care of my family, and that's all that life is giving me. I'm like, go outside and play hide and go fuck yourself, man. Wake up. You're better than that. But some people, they get into that funk and they're just downtrodden.
Yeah, people give up. People get used to it and they give up. They get complacent and they get comfortable kind of where they're at, and they don't want to take any risks. But I think you have to have goals and you have to risk it, and you have to kind of move towards where you want to be with continual sustained action. Or he's right,
Yes.
that is the best it's going to get. I mean, because you want it to be like that, though.
What you speak is what you become. The words that are coming out of your mouth write your fucking life. So make them the right words. But these people who like cheat on their wives and shit like that, one of the biggest things that things that they're not progressing in life. They're working a job and they're doing what they were told to do, but they're probably bored out of their fucking skull. They're not happy. So that's why I definitely recommend people start a mastermind or start looking for people. Luke, you know what a mastermind is, right?
I have been told, I didn't coin that term there, but I've been told it's kind of a group of people that you would set up and surround yourself with that has similar goals to yours, right? They want to be at least in the same neighborhood as you mentally, with kind of where they want to be in life. They're on the same path, right? You just might be wearing different shoes. And these people are going to hold you accountable. You're going to plan, you're going to plot, you're going to talk together, you're going to encourage each other, and they're going to be a major asset in kind of getting you to where you want to be. Whether that's you want a beautiful house, you want to live in a certain area, you want to have a certain amount of income coming in that maybe, in my case, I wouldn't want to work for that income necessarily at a job, but these are all kind of goals that you could progress towards with this group. And that's a huge, huge asset to it's much easier to do things with a group than it is by yourself.
100%. And on top of that, different people bring different abilities, different skills to your life and to the mission of the team, which
Definitely.
obviously, Luke and I started, Luke actually helped to organize one between us and a few other friends. And our goal is cash flow. It's passive income. It's so that we don't have to fucking work the rest of our lives. And we can spend whatever time we want with the people that we want to spend the most time with. So my call to action for you guys is to start now thinking about, don't say, okay, I'm just going to gut everything. I'm going to take out all my terrible friends, trim the fat, whatever. Just start listening more. Start recognizing, hey, what are they saying? Is that what I want to be saying in 50 years? If you're talking to someone who's 80 years old, is he in the position you want to be in later on in life? Because if he is, then great, keep going. But if he's not, then you're on that track by hanging out with him. One book that I recommend you guys read is The Cash Flow Quadrant. It helps you to understand the language of the rich, the poor, and the middle class. Because just learning words is going to help propel you towards success. It's all about vocabulary.
Yeah, education. Well, that's awesome, man. I think you brought up some great points there, Scott. You gave us a robust view of new language, things to look out for, and kind of a different perspective, right? Which I think is the most important thing. It all depends on how you view the world. So, guys, I would have to say make sure that you follow us right on Instagram. Our handle there is Brains, Brawn, and BS. Follow us on YouTube. I want to say it's the same exact handle. What else are we missing here? Scott, you got anything?
Yeah, if you got questions, definitely email them to us, brainsbrawnandbs@gmail.com.
That's right.
We're already getting some great ones coming in. We may eventually start answering them on the show. I don't know.
Good point.
Definitely just keep in contact with us, guys, because we're here to help connect those dots between physical and financial wellness.
Well said, Scott. And also if you guys want to kind of delve a little bit more into body composition and what that's all about, and just kind of have more information on that in general, there's a great article by Very Well Fit on body composition and body fat percentages. That's going to give you kind of a robust viewpoint, and you can use that to find different body fat percentage testing methods. I think that's all for us, guys. Take care, and thanks for listening. Have a killer week.
All right, guys, take care.